Hey, what's up? It's Rashad hanging with the Joneses. Andor, episode number 7, the announcement. All spoilers. Got to talk about the thing. To talk about the thing. To me, this has been the best episode. This is what I envisioned the show would be when it first started. First of all, we have Cyril, and Cyril is still at home with his mom, and he's going to get his job. Uncle Harlow looked out for your boy, and his mom is still on his back, telling him his suit is ugly, telling him there was something wrong with your collar. Of course, we know your boy likes a tailored fit, so he got his collar raised a little bit, and he's like, how does my suit, what does it say to you? And she's like, it tells me that you're an individual, that you don't, you seek approval, confident in yourself. Like, his mom is like just ragging him. Ends up later on in the episode going to the standards, the Bureau of Standards, and they essentially, through a conversation, wipe his record clean. By the end of the episode, he's walking and talking, and he gets the this job. It's a super boring job where it's just like him and a lot of other people in this essentially futuristic office building, and it's his prison. And we'll get back to the prison part a little bit later. Next up, we have Luthen. Luthen is super happy about his victory. There's he listens to his little ham radio in in the back of his little antique shop, and it really sounds like the person's talking about the events that happened on Aldani, and the recording sounds very reminiscent of a, how can I say this, like almost if you get like a weather bulletin from the National Weather Service. It sounded a lot like that. So almost like a warning of what's going on instead of it being like an official, like a news announcement. Luce is super happy. His homegirl that's there with with him, she's there, tells him, look, like my mom was outside. He's like, unannounced? And he's like, yeah, I know what she's here for. So Luthen and Mom Martha now have the differing opinions of how this rebellion should be won and fought. Because she's like, look, yo, you done started a chain of events that can't be undone. And Luthen's like, I already told you how this was going to be and what it was. Now that it is what I told you it was going to be, you have a problem. If you don't want to be down for the cause, go ahead and surrender yourself. You know what I'm saying? And she's like, but I already told you I was trying to access funds. And he's like, from this savior to trying to get your money from your, from your family. And she was like, man, I ain't trying to do it like this though. So they kind of leave on not the best terms. He doesn't care because he's trying to win at all cost. And now they pretty much part ways. Next we see the Empire and the reaction, and it's like all hands on deck. ISB is now the ISB that we see, is beginning to be the ISB that we see in Rogue One. The dude on Potagats talked to the Emperor, and he was like, he got full access to the Army and the Navy. You know what I'm saying? Cash Money is an Army, better yet a Navy. So got access to them. So now we see them later on. We understand like why they're so like almost military grade type of military level. I'm sorry, almost like a part of the military when they're actually just the people who do the investigations. They locked everything down. So Aldani has new security now. Everybody's gone because they seen how there's been some issues with how they access the stuff and the whole nine. And they saw how it's an inside job sort of. So I hope my black dude from the last episode, I hope he got out. Secondly, the charges for everything that is against essentially the Empire has shot up. Like they're reevaluating everything to be a deterrent against, any sort of insurgency, any rebellion. And that's essentially what Luthen said. He's like, yeah, yo, like I want them to overreact. This is what we want. We've been sitting here, getting choked slowly for so long, we don't even know we're getting choked out. So he definitely got the reaction they thought. Miro, the white lady from ISB, is looking like, yo, like we're playing right into their hands. And then the episode gets name dropped. The dude was like, "What is this? An insurgency?" He's like, "Nah, man, this is an announcement," which it is. And I'll get back to her in a second. So here's the interesting part. The lady that Luthen basically, works with him, she meets up with Vel. And Vel is like, "Look, yo, what's going on with Cinta?" Has back and forth about the money, the credits, and how she did a good job. She's like, "Yo, I don't know why you sending us stuff. I shouldn't be out here either." Vel really wanted to see Luthen. Luthen don't care. You know what I'm saying? Luthen is clearly in this just for the rebellion and by any means necessary. So now we kind of understand why and how your boy is going to be in this. Oh man, what's the character's name? I'm blanking out. Anyway, the lady is also, she about that life too. Because she said, "Look, we need you to tie one loose end." She's like, "What?" The dude that you thought was whoever you thought it was, yeah, real name is Cassian Andor. We need you to go ahead and take care of Cassian. She's like, "What, kill him?" It's like, "Yeah, yo, kill that man." "Yes, we're going to give you all the information we got on him." They leave, they part. And the thing that kind of like really had me like, dog, like, even in a fictitious world, this happens everywhere. So we got Blevin and the entire ISB, like all the heads or whatever. They're in their little, very white, sterile meeting room, and they're having a conversation about what's going on. Some dude get his rights read to him by Pottergats, and he has to come up with a report the next day. Unimportant. So Blevin is like, "Yo, I'm here to launch, an investigation on your girl because she definitely stepped out of bounds, went around, got information from my sector, and didn't even have access. Didn't even really ask. She just went around it." You know what I'm saying? She's like, "Well, that's not the question, yada, yada." You know what I'm saying? To be asking. Like, I'm trying to figure out why he's doing that. And what's the better question is, why all these things happen like this? Essentially trying to, lay her claim that this insurgency is really an organized rebellion. So, push comes to shove, he ends up losing his sector to her. You know what I'm saying? And then after it's over, dude was like, "Yeah, yo, great play. Watch your back." So the whole time, even the other episode, we see how he was trying to coach her to kind of, like, temper yourself. This is how you get this thing done here. And it's sad because, that black dude lost his job basically and got demoted. You know what I'm saying? So, wasn't a fan of that. All right. Andor goes back home to Phoenix and sees his mom, sees his old girlfriend, you know what I'm saying, who he used to be messing with. And Tim got shot with 2 M's. And she's like, you don't need to be here. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should be out. You need to be gone. He's had his whole back and forth with her. Like, "Look, yo, like, what happened?" And she's like, "Well, I got kind of hurt. Tim is dead. And everybody's looking for you. And everybody think this is your fault." And he's like, "I don't understand that. Like, I'm out here. I had a job. You gave me the job. You gave me the job, as a matter of fact." And she's still like, "Yeah, I understand. You need to be out of here." Pays his debts, you know what I'm saying, to the people that we see him borrowing from earlier, like the first couple episodes. Then he leaves. He's trying to get his mom to leave. You know what I'm saying? That's what he wants to do. He wants to go to a warm planet, forget all this crap, start over, start fresh. She, however, doesn't want to go. She says, "Look, I want to stay here and I want to fight." And he's like, "Fight with what? The Empire's going to crush everything." So remember, like, everybody else was on that, yo, like, this is for the cause. Andor was like, "Look, man, I'm a hired hand. Give me my money and I'm out." And that's another reason why Luthen wants to kill Cassian, because he's not really for the cause, quote unquote, or at least not yet. So Cassian cannot convince his mom to leave. He ends up leaving and going to this fancy, you know what I'm saying, almost resort. It looks like looks like California type planet. You know what I'm saying? Like his real beaches. He's out chilling. He done got him a new black girlfriend with a British accent. You know what I'm saying? She's like, yo, you up? I need you to go get some food so we can, you know what I'm saying, we can eat or whatever later on. So Caston goes out, he's walking, and see like this group of dudes running, and they run past him. And this one lone stormtrooper looks like a, I don't know, he has like the sandy beach looking color, and he's running. Andor, being the typical nervous person that he is, because he's run his whole life, sees them running and just kind of skedaddles up off the beach into the boardwalk. So he's walking, about to go to the market. Also, he should have. His girl was like, "Yeah, you need to go see the vendor that has the stuff." He's like, "No, I was planning on going the opposite way." But she was like, "Yo, he got something we need." If he would have listened to his girl, again, black woman trying to save the day again, he would have not been in prison, because eventually he shows up to the little market. The stormtrooper sees him and questions him like, "Yo, you with them? Like with who? With them? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing?" I'm going to get something to eat. And the stormtrooper hems him up, and there's this MX unit that looks like one of the K2SO, looks like K2SO rather, literally grabs him and says, "Yeah, hang on to him while I come back," and has your man by the throat, literally hanging him. And next scene, he shows up, boom, it's some sort of like imperial judge, you know what I'm saying, court, and she's just clicking off, judgment sentences. And it's funny because it's no paper. It's like this metal thing, and the sentence gets read on, like it gets like imprinted onto the metal. Almost like I'm not sure how old a lot of you guys are, but back in the day before there was actual like credit swipe for credit cards, there was this little thing that had the like a three like piece of paper. You can imprint it and swipe the credit card on top of that, and it'll give you a copy, and it'll have like a transparency, and they get the store copy, and that's how your credit card used to be charged, and they would send those papers off to the credit card company until technology. But yeah, that's how it kind of felt to me. So he ends up going to jail for 6 years. They gave your man 6 years for literally doing nothing. They just put him with the same people who were doing, basically like talking against the empire, public, just like being disruptive in public, and a bunch of other, goofy charges. But yeah, Andor is now in jail. So probably gonna see him escape eventually, because that's what he does. He ain't gonna stay in no jail. But yeah, great episode. Definitely, to me, the best episode so far. And the music of the episode was really good. Like even like they had this almost, I don't know, the track that they played when they went to like the end, when they went to the planet, when they went to California, basically, the song that they played, it was pretty nice. You know what I'm saying? I know people are like, "Oh, that's not Star Wars," man. I'm like, man, shut up, yo. Don't nobody care. It sounded good. Even played it for the end credits as well. So yeah, that song bang. But that's all I got. Next up for the channel, of course, is the season finale of House of the Dragon. It went by so fast and it was so good. But yeah, that's next. That's all I got. I will see you all next time.